So, we'll start off with the anterior pituitary. So which hormones are secreted by the anterior pituitary?
Growth hormone.
Growth hormone, big one, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's all that hype, like, it's kind of died down, but a couple years ago, like, give your kids growth hormone. What's the purpose of that? Making them grow bigger, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does growth hormone work? How does the anterior pituitary work in general?
It releases hormones, and when the hypothalamus sends out releasing hormone to release hormones.
Yeah, so
It's from the hypothalamus through the little duct in the infundibulum. That puts it into the anterior gland.
good.
Anterior pituitary, and then that'll send neurotransmitters into the blood for the hormones. And that'll travel through the blood to whichever tissue will have that system, the receptor for it. It'll link on and either inhibit or stimulate whichever one.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have, like you mentioned, that portal system. That's kind of the key to the anterior pituitary, is you have that blood right there. So the hypothalamus will take, in this case, growth hormone, releasing hormone. From a nerve, it'll be a neurohormone that goes right down through that portal system. And that affects these endocrine cells in the pituitary. In this case, we're going to affect the cells that release growth hormone. So it'll stimulate those cells. They don't have a different color, but growth hormone, and then growth hormone gets released to the rest of the body. And overall, like how it stimulates, causes growth of just about everything, right?
And also like affect metabolism as well.
Yeah, it's probably going to increase metabolism so that we can break down glucose for more energy, that we can use that energy to build more muscle and bones and everything else. Good. All right, what's the other hormones from the anterior pituitary?
TSH.
TSH. So TSH is a good one to illustrate the negative feedback system. So let's do that. So you need to know what triggers the release. So not only TRH, but what stimulates TRH, right? So here, talking about TSH. So how does this whole process start?
Well, I guess to start, there's like some sort of stressor or indicator that sends an action potential up to the hypothalamus that tells the hypothalamus to release TRH. That gets dumped and the blood circulates, and then when it gets to the anterior pituitary gland, it secretes thyroid stimulating hormone. That gets released, gets to the thyroid, and then secretes other hormones, T3 and T4 to be.
I drew a thyroid with a goiter, a little bit offsided. But, so the idea is, yeah, so there's two things for the whole thyroid process. There's stress, just general stress, and there's hypothermia. The whole process of this, right, is to increase our metabolism. Increasing our metabolism also brings up our temperature.
So that'd be like an effect of it, of that being released then?
Yeah, so when we become cold, our internal core becomes cold, we stimulate this process to speed up our metabolism and increase our temperature from the inside out.
Right. So stress and hypothermia stimulate the release of TRH?
Yes.
Okay.
So then you get that through the portal system. TSH stimulates the thyroid, right? And it releases its T3 and T4. What does T3 and T4 do?
Affects metabolism as well.
Yep,
Is
so
it like
that's
for
what
growth?
actually speeds up the metabolism.
Okay, so for growth and stuff.
Kind of growth, but then just overall metabolism. So, what is the target for TSH? We already talked about the thyroid, right? There's something else we're missing though. What's another target for TSH?
It also goes back to the TRH and
Good.
sends it a inhibitory signal.
Good, kind of like the return and return and report principle, right? So TSH says, I did my job, and so I'm going to tell the hypothalamus that I did my job and inhibit TRH. So it may not stop it completely, not right away at least, but it's going to at least slow it down. So TSH stimulates T3 and T4, but also inhibits TRH. So T3 and T4 do the same type of thing.
TSH.
They inhibit TSH and also inhibit TRH. So it says, hey, I did my job, so I'm going to tell my supervisor, and I'm also going to tell my boss. Because I'm a suck up, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to tell them both that I did the job. So, if there's not enough T3 and T4 to cause the change that we need to in the body, hopefully it's also not enough to fully inhibit these, so they'll keep working until there is enough T3 and T4 to shut the whole process down. You get hypo and hyperthyroidism because either this shuts it off too soon or doesn't shut it off soon enough.